I'm back, and now today I am going to try to get both the wind turbine frame and these plates, which I just brought up just now, all the way up on top of the fortress. We got a storm coming in, and I managed to track down an old winch I had. It's in one of the older mining buildings that I reclaimed a while back, which I have down here on the sort of the other side of the little area, all the way down there, that little building, because trying to find ropes and stuff to get it up. I don't have that stuff anymore since the fire, so I'm going to attempt something right now. I've got a chain going right up there. I need to get each of these shutter panel pieces, this 1/4 inch plate. So it's going to be pretty heavy, but I think I can get it up there. So I'm going to try that now, and then when I get these up, I got to hook on a winch and then lift the winch up there and then hook the winch up to move the other piece, which is much heavier. So this is going to be interesting. Apparently the chain weight, including the weight of the plate, just a little bit too much, too unwieldy. So I moved one of the plates up onto the second floor by taking it up the stairs. I got this other plate and I backed in on the ATV, get it inside. A little bit of a rain coming down, not really bad, but I just got to get these plates in because the back sides aren't painted and I need to paint those. So I'm gonna get this get the other plate inside here with the others, and then I can work on getting a winch up onto the top so I can hoist everything up. It's a nice Saturday. It's raining a little bit, just sort of little drops, but I finally put everything together that I need to get the wind turbine frame, which is down there, up here. So I'll use a little mini excavator to bring it around right off over to this edge here. I'll lift it up here, get it up here, and then I'll lift it up, get it up there, and then set it in place up and around here. So luckily, one of my little old mine recovery winches was not in the shop, but was in the little metal garage. I found it. I couldn't find my controller. I actually built it. It was like an incomplete winch, and I ended up having to weld up some plate and stuff in there to do some recovery of some mining equipment one time. But my controller is missing, and I had set it up to use basically a 110 power cable, a ground and a hot and a neutral. And I have it so I send power to the white wire, and then to go forward you send it to the green or black, and then black to the other one. So basically the reason I use this is I can buy an extension cord. So if I have to be a long ways from the winch, I can like hook up a bunch of extension cords. I've had a couple 100 feet of extension cords on it and it still operates properly. I don't know how far I could go before finally I wouldn't have enough current to run the solenoids. But with the shop burned, I don't have any of my connectors. So basically I'm going to be using jumper cables. And I found my main power line. I had to unscrew that to find the main power. And so I've got to chain this winch back there. And then I've got to finish making my controller, which is just a regular switch here. I gotta just get these 3 wires out, hook up this switch, and I'll have a controller for up and down. So I will start putting this thing together and getting ready to pull up that big frame. That's going to be sort of interesting. I'm going to have to pull it up an interesting way on the side. I'm going to have to pull up from a corner, and then when it gets to the top, it's going to pull it and it's going to fling it sort of out, up, and on. So it's going to be sort of interesting, but got to get it going. Well, here's a test. Let's see if this thing actually moves. Whoa! Holy smokes, that moves fast. That moves really, really fast. I'm gonna try to flick this. So I need to go out. Well, I can't hold this and pull at the same time. Okay, it's this way. I'm guessing this is a worn winch. I had to build a whole side area here out of steel, but this thing is moving really, really fast. So I got the cable down. Now I need a piece of angle iron to put against this edge right here so I don't dig into the edge. And I got to hook up the chain. Well, here's my setup right here. I've got it strapped around multiple times. So now I want to see. Oh. Okay. So I've got some weight here. Give it a, whoop, wrong direction. My winch doesn't have a very good hold, but I need to go up, make sure the winch is all in good position. What I need is for this winch to somehow get disconnected and go flying over the edge. I've got to put this these here. Make sure. There's a piece of rebar and two by 6 and a 2x4. It's not particularly, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's just pretty unwieldy. So I'm trying to think if I ought to be up here. I want to try to start it. I think I'm going to be down there and start it. Whoa. But this poor little winch doesn't have a lot of hold power. I may end up just having to go for it, but if I'm going to go for it, I'll have to be up here. But I'm going to see if it'll hold. for when I'm down at the bottom, but I'll just have to stand out of the way. Now that's not too bad. Got it up to a point the winch would hold it. This old Warren winch, it was designed to move really sort of quickly, which is sort of nice when you're trying to pull something fast, but it doesn't have a whole lot of pull. So we're going to get up on top now and get it up over. It'll probably definitely need my help to get it up and over, and I better have a strap ready for that. Well, I'm here on the second floor and it's getting caught here, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to push this thing out as it's going up. I've got to watch out for that hook right there, but it'll be interesting to get it over that little lip right there. Well, my poor little winch doesn't have the oomph to get it up and over, so I managed to put this strap to hold it from going back down, and it's sort of like catching right down there, so I put a piece of sheet metal right there. It's already pulled my steel angle off, so I'm just going to try to, now I should have a lot less friction there with that piece of steel there. I'll just keep pulling it up and then using the strap to try to get it to come up, because once I can get that hook over this edge, it's up. But until that, it's going to be a real pain. So let's see what I'm going to do. I was actually starting to wonder if my battery was a little bit low, so I've hooked up a charger there, started the generator. Now let's see if we'll have a little bit enough power to bring this thing all the way up. Whew. I've got the hook over the top, and I've got this strap holding here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the motor cool down, let the battery charge up some more, and then what I will have to do is I will have to lift up on this my what do you call it, safety cable. I'm gonna use the ratchet strap to pull that tip up a little bit. So I'm gonna do that, and then as soon as I just let that sit and cool down, we'll pull it the rest of the way. Well, my ratchet strap that was pulling the top up broke, and the winch went down a little bit, so I've got to get a heavier duty strap to pull it up. So it's a bit of a bummer, but that's the way it goes. Okay, well, after the failure of getting it up with that strap breaking, gonna have to go back to a slow method where I'll use the winch and 2 independent ratchet straps, because the winch won't hold. So I'll bring it up to a point where the winch stalls, then I can use 1 ratchet strap to hold it, and then I can reset the next one to get ready with 1 holding. Then I can pull again and then use and swap between the ratchet straps, which means I'm gonna have to hook, I have 1 hooked up there, and I'm gonna have to hook up a second one to that corner right there. And then I've got to have a place here, so I'm gonna have to start bringing out chains and having a separate place so I can have a ratchet strap attached each separately. And I want to make sure I don't overload my 1 point right there, so I'm gonna try to figure out another way to load up. I don't know how well that is working. I think it's working okay. I mean, in order to snap across that thing and just shear it off, it would take a tremendous amount more weight than I've got here, I believe. So I've got a bunch of rigging to do, and then it's just very, very slowly, inch by inch, move it up. I don't have any, I would use probably a block and tackle if I had something that small, but I don't have that. So I'm just sort of forced with what I've got. So with a little bit of oomph from the generator power to the winch and 2 ratchet straps, I think I can get it up. All right. First thing that went wrong was that strap broke. Then when I put the controller down, I accidentally dropped it, ran it down, and had to reset it. So it only went down to the 2nd level. And then a 3rd time, I just simply pushed the down button when I should have pushed the up button. So now we've got the cable above on the roof. And now this is going to be a combination of these 2 ratchet straps and the winch to just flip this sucker up. And I'll have to be careful. I'll start using the ratchets, and then once the winch then takes over, I'm just going to have to hold it to make sure it doesn't fall over sideways. So I'm going to try to get things a little bit tighter here. Well, I use this high lift jack to push this up, so the top of it was a few inches above the roof. That allows for a pivot to pivot over. So it took me a little bit. I had to like reset most everything, being stuck there at the 2nd floor. And I put a whole bunch more rigging together. So basically, since I can't trust the winch to hold, that I have to use the ratchet straps. So I have got this huge monstrosity of all sorts of things. Luckily, from Harbor Freight, I managed to pick up a whole bunch of these chains. So I have 3 chains to 3 points on that thing. But I have this silver chain, see all the gold chain, the silver chain, I've got it locked to that so it can't go down any farther. So if something happens, it's not going to go down. It'll just be stuck where it's at. But now, with the ratchet straps, as you can see, I managed to put my angle iron back there because that's what my original plan was, but it popped out and I had a real binding effect. So now my corner's above, and I'm metal on metal, so things should slide much easier. So what I'm going to need to do now is I want to pull up a little bit. So I've got this piece of metal here. I'm going to put some cinder block underneath it, so when I pull, I'm pulling just a little up. I can't really pull up too much because that winch is on the pallet where that cable's coming out. I really can't lift. I can't have this cable go up any more than basically where that is. Otherwise, that's going to start coming up off the pallet. So I've got 2 ratchet straps independently hooked up. So one breaks, still got the other one. And I'm no longer using the strap here. I'm using the safety chain in the winch. so I can pull it into a point and lock it into place. So, and basically what's going to happen is it's going to come up, and then I'm going to try to grab it, and it's just going to push past all this stuff and move and just push past all this block and everything. So I'm going to start the finishing, hopefully get this up a little bit higher here. Well, there it is. We got it up. I was being a little bit careful towards the last little bit bringing it up, because with the straps and everything, it could tip over left or right. I was trying to keep enough pressure down, and everything was required. You got to have the metal on the corner, and when it popped out, it just caused me nothing but grief. So I've got it up, but now I've got to get it right up there. Once you get up there, it's not too bad. It's got to just be lifted up 4 feet and placed on the wall. But it's not too bad, because I've got so much block here that I'll simply take the block and build a platform right where it's going, just get it up on the platform, because this is easy to lift up a few feet and stuff like that. So, and then all I have to do is like lift it up a little bit and then drop it in. So big thing now is to clean up all this and figure out how I'm going to get it up on this one here. Not really sure the best way to get it up at this point. So I can probably start bringing it up here, but getting it up is sort of a pain. I've got like rebar sticking up on the edges there. Probably just sort of build a pile of block here and just make a ramp out of block, and then just slide it up right up the ramp. So I guess the ramp is the way to go. Much safer, and I think I've got enough block to do that. All right, I'll get working on that. I'm getting ready for the last step as far as getting up on top of the 3rd floor. Well, actually the roof. I made like a little ramp, slid it up, and then I would just lift up, put a block under, and then block, and then lift up, put another block. And then I've run one ratchet strap underneath here, coming out here, and then just hooking here. So basically that corner right there is a strap trying to hold it pulling up. And then all the way up on the top, you can see I have two ratchet straps to that corner. So what I do is I alternate between those and I pivot it right there, and I'm just going to bring it up and slide it up. So I've got several things strapped in and locked in place. There's 3 ratchet straps. So you just slowly, carefully use these ratchet straps here, alternate between them, and just lift this corner right up. Well, there we have it. So the next thing, that one's going to go in right here. I've got to pour some concrete down here first, and then I'm going to bring up the block and build this all the way up, and then probably a little platform here about this high. You can get that on top of the platform, slide it over, and then slide it down. So it'll slide right down here and there. And then I will put the rest of the blocks up. I will do the same thing here. I'll build it up to like probably right about here with blocks in here, and then move it over, just slide it down. Well, that's one of 2. I've learned a few things, so now I know a better, all the pitfalls I'll have for doing this. And it's basically, when you look at my system with the 2 ratchet straps at the top and the 1 on the bottom, that's how I got the giant I-beams up here for the roofs. I'd have to bring an I-beam, lift it up, grab it, and then lift it and pull it. I did it a couple different ways, but I just sort of copied it. And the thing you have to be really careful about doing it the way I'm doing it is there is bringing up some of the beams and some of the stuff. I had to have ropes coming from the corner over to here, left and right, to keep it from tipping over left or right. But since this has 2 points, this wide groove right here, there's so much force pressing it up against the wall that it doesn't want to go left or right. It will. I mean, you put it off just a little bit and that sucker will flip right over. But I was just taking it very easy. I was feeling how the ratchets were pulling, how it was lifting, and I just pulled it back up. It's a long process. I think, I haven't checked the time now, but I think it's taken me about 7 hours to move this all the way up here. So, and still not completely done. The hardest parts are done, but sliding it down, it should slide down really easy. I will test the width of these to make sure it'll slide down nice and smooth. And I will see about getting that concrete in tonight. so it would be somewhat set for tomorrow. And then I'll put like a little bit of mortar, then slide this thing down on the mortar, and then we should have this thing installed. A lot of work. I got the concrete in and up these sides, and I've got the framework right next to it here. So it's getting late, the sun's starting to go down, and tomorrow I will have to build up a platform right here to and then carefully get this up on the platform, get some straps to hold it so as I'm going down it doesn't flip over and go off the edge. And hopefully tomorrow I can get at least one of the wind turbines installed. So not fully. I will have to actually wait until the walls get all the way up to get all the runners for the shutters put in, because the shutters can't be installed until the frame here is all encased in concrete. Well, it could sort of be, but the shutters would have to be closed. I wouldn't be able to open them because I have to put lag bolts in through the block in order to hold the runners that are away from the frame. So that's going to be enough for today. Well, I am going to now head out and grab me something to eat, get some rest, and then tomorrow I'm going to be back out. After a good night's sleep, woke up and came up with another idea to install the wind turbine frame into the wall. And so I made a quick stop down at the local Home Depot, grabbed some wood. I'm going to bring it all the way up to the wall, and then I'm going to work out what's hopefully will be a really, how do I say, good way to put it in, because I was a little leery about the previous way I was going to do it, because there's a possibility that it would go and tweak on me, but this way probably will work better if I can get it to work. So I'm going to head up there right now and unload this, bring it up, and get all set up. Previously, yesterday especially, my thoughts were simply to build a platform right up to this level, bring it over and slide it in. But I just realized that with one person I can only lift one side, and I was going to put a strap to hold it from tipping over, but the more I got thinking about it, I didn't like it. And so when I went to sleep last night, I kept thinking about it. When I woke up this morning, I came up with this amazing idea. I've already had concrete poured down some of them of the block in the wall, but I had some where I did not. So I was able to I had two really long 2x4s, and they go all the way down. I'm going to put some support braces across, and then I'm going to use this little chain hoist, and I'm going to bring the turbine right here, lift it up, and slowly guide it down. It's the safest way. And I mean, really, the frame isn't that heavy. I mean, I'm guessing it probably weighs like 250 pounds. All these timbers and all this, 250 pounds is nothing. So I am going to build the whole framework and get it ready, and then we can see if this works. Well, I've set up the whole framework. Here's what we got. I just got to basically go straight up and down. Now, the one thing I'm worried about, I'm like, the distance I have to lift up and the distance I have at the bottom, really close. I may have to redo it and put my cross beams up another foot, but I am going to try it the way it is. I could wiggle it a little bit to move it to get it to go in, so I think we can start going up. I just realized I'm about 8 inches short. So I have to move those wood beams up on top 8 inches up. So I'm gonna have to drop it back down and start again. Well, I got it up and I am just right on the very limits of that, so I'm gonna have to guide it down, be really careful here, and see about dropping it in. Well, I've got it slid down. I've got to go down a little bit more, but I got to mix up some mortar now, so I'm going to put some mortar down here, and then I'm going to drop it down just to seal up really well the underneath there. So let's I gotta go grab a bag of mortar and I will be back. Now I've got a bunch of really runny mortar down there, so I don't know if I have enough. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more than that. Well, this side sort of grabs a little bit, so I'm gonna have to sort of hold on this side, let the weight push down on that a little more. So let me finish it off. Well, it's in. Everything's all set. I took off the hoist. It's all in place. So I will disassemble my wooden frame here. I will reuse it when I put this one in. I did notice that I had forgotten that I had this concrete support to right there. So I guess on my other one I'm going to have to cut out right here, not use this section right here. That's okay. I'm either going to do that, or maybe I might just, I think I'm just going to cut into this right here. Cut in 1.5 inches right there maybe. So, well, that's going to be enough for this video and this weekend. Got some leftover mortar to clean up, put all the tools away, get everything all set, because I have a whole new week coming up here. So I've got a bunch of the stuff on SolidWorks for the window frames, and I just realized I've got some more window frames over here, a different size. They're just 16 by 16s. I'll have to put those on SolidWorks and make some more of these frame C-channel. So, all right, everyone, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like it. I'm just going through just day by day how I end up building this fortress. And if any of my knowledge or anything I does help you, I'm really happy for that. So that's why I have this channel. So thank you so much, and see you on the next video.